Sitting down. That's the first sound they'll hear. Yep. It's me
Good.
groaning sitting.
Oh, you're playing the goddamn otter.
Yeah. Gotta play the otters. All right, Think Twice fans. We're trying out a different format for our gameplay stuff here, where we're just doing live commentary. So live and unfiltered, as they say. So today I'm going to be playing a version of Is It Wizards, where I'm testing out Corey Steelcutter as the kind of like the turn the corner finisher.
Ooh, testing out Corey Steelcutter in
yeah.
any other shell.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's good.
Right, so same idea you've always seen. I've just got a smattering of different wizards. The main one you're going to see is Tamio. I've put in some of the otter guys, especially Kitsa. I love Kitsa, Snapcasters, all the normal stuff you're going to see. And then Corey Steelcutter is kind of the plan to turn the corner quickly and end the game once you kind of get in a good position. So
everyone knows, obviously, who I am, the guy that loses to Alan in these matchups. So I'm on one of my all-time favorite decks, Ruby Storm. So if this is your first introduction to Storm as a concept deck in Modern, the idea is that we will cast a number of spells in our turn to such a degree that we will build up a number of cast spells, hopefully equal to our opponent's life total, and burn them out with Grape Shot. So to accomplish this, we want to do a couple things. We want to get one of our cost reducers in Ruby Medallion or Real Monsoon Mage onto the battlefield to reduce the cost of most of the cards in our deck down to 1 mana. And then we want to do things like cast Pyretic Ritual to increase our number of spells and to create a bunch of mana for us, positive mana. Then we want to get through our deck, we want to cast cards like Reckless Impulse, which will let us exile cards off the top of our deck and play them until the end of our next turn. Fill our graveyard so that we can either Grape Shot with just the number of cards that we've spells that we've cast, or Past in Flames to gain access to the cards in our graveyard that we've already cast this turn. Cast them all again.
Do it all again, and that
basically,
should be
and that should hopefully that should either let you Grape Shot, Past in Flames Grape Shot, or we can also wish for either a Past in Flames or a Grape Shot from our sideboard. So hopefully we will be able to at least do that once or twice for you on stream today. So
So Drew, while we're shuffling up here, you've played this version now ever since it kind of hit the shelves. What Medallions were in MH3?
Yeah.
You also used to play Gift Storm.
Yeah.
Opinion, which version of the deck, if at the time that it was good, do you like better, do you think?
Oh, at the time that it was good?
Yeah, so obviously now that Gift Storm has been surpassed by this version, but
yeah,
do you have more fun playing Gift Storm or Ruby?
Well, this wins more, and that's fun.
Okay, so.
But I always enjoyed... I always liked casting Gifts Ungiven because it always felt inevitable.
Yeah,
like,
I remember being on the other side of it, and it was like, oh, you did it, and it's like, does it matter which two I give you?
And it didn't.
Often it didn't. I think every once in a while there was a situation where it was like, ooh, if I make this right, I might bottleneck him.
Right.
And you might just be like one card off, but it also usually involved what I didn't know about, like what was left in your hand or, something like that. So.
Yeah, no, Ruby Medallion making your cost reducer be monocolored has made this deck just so much more consistent. Who would have thought that an artifact would make an impact on a modern deck, right?
I mean, I guess also now, like, Ral's would have 1/3.
Yeah.
And it not being a 2/2 like Electromancer is huge.
Yes.
And not... I guess Brawl. Brawl was also a 1/3, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But
you could... So in this deck, the play pattern that lets you stay ahead of most of the other decks in the format by whatever margin you want, whatever you want to call it, is you can, on turn 2, play a land into a ritual, cast your either reducer,
and then
have one floating, and you can keep going.
Yeah, since the deck is mainly red, you were only really playing blue in Gifts for Gifts and the fact that your reducer had to have blue.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, I have to have blue to cast this, so yeah, you can't use your rituals to do it, so...
And we were, in Blue-Red Storm and, Gifts Ungiven, Gift Storm or whatever, we still had, fetches and shocks, but, it's having to play another color to make the deck function is tough.
Yeah, where now you get to play the second color as like your sideboard splash just to
Yeah.
access the stuff you need, which is way better. You're basically you are full mono red game one, right?
Oh yes. I don't even most of the time. Like I have a Sacred Foundry and an Elegant Parlor in my main,
Yeah.
and most of the time when I'm playing, like say at F&M, I will not fetch them.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, I think I've played enough people now where maybe the secret's out,
Sure.
but or whatever.
So you're on the play. I think that's not a
I'm
good
gonna
enough,
keep.
not a good enough hand on the draw. The interaction came in too late for your important cards.
Is there anything better than coffee? I don't know
not-
that
not
there
much.
is. Yeah.
It is fantastic.
You don't drink coffee, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
When was the last time I saw you drink coffee?
Well, usually it's in the morning.
Mm.
So I go like coffee in the morning, water in the midday, iced tea in the evening.
Yeah, that's really become my pattern too.
That's essentially what it is.
You know, that's really become my pattern too because I need it to get going, and
Yeah.
then like I want to just stay. I just want to not feel bad in the middle of the day when I'm
Yeah.
working, and then it's like the iced tea or whatever. I like peach iced tea or
Yeah,
whatever.
I like a raspberry green tea. a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. That's another good one.
Yeah.
But that's almost like a little. It's like a treat. You
Yeah,
know? And
right?
I like.
Oh yeah.
I love super cold drinks, so like I always have like a chilled copper cup
Okay.
that I can put it in or whatever, and it's got to have ice. And I've actually gone to restaurants before, and I'm like, how cold can you get? Because I want it just this side of frozen.
Yeah, like
You know.
if it's almost a slushy, that's okay.
Yeah. Essentially. Yeah.
Oof. Well, this isn't looking fantastic. These two cards make this not a good keep, so I think I can find a better one still.
I will say, for the sake, since we're just doing this and we have words before we actually start playing, like I am so terrified of mulliganing
Yeah.
that I keep questionable openers so that I don't have to mulligan.
Yeah, so my 7 card was, my lands were 2 islands, and my only piece of interaction was a counterspell, so not active until your turn 3.
Yeah, which by that time, since I'm on the play, I might be able to win.
Yeah, like
right?
I might literally never play a relevant spell. In that second hand, my only land was Otawara. I had a bolt and a bauble, so I was like, well, I could use the bauble, have 2 more looks at a land, and then like the bolt can interact with Ral. But I had 2 Snapcasters in my hand. It's like, okay, so those aren't doing anything for a while. So it was already like a mulligan to 5, and I think I just find a better 5.
Curse your 2 creature based deck.
Yeah.
2 CMC creature based deck.
Yeah. All right.
The classic 5-2 deal combination.
Yeah. I've started doing a thing where I lay out the cards versus as how many I get to keep. And so, like, on the 7, it's just 7 in a row. And then I'm mulliganing once, I do 6 and then 1. It's kind of like a little reminder for myself.
Get this.
Yeah.
So this week I go to Fanfare, and I see Danny Coates in there.
Really?
Mike's youngest.
Yeah.
So we're talking or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this comic," so he buys it or whatever. And I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." And so then I was talking to him, and he just walks out of the store without even looking back. And I was like, I
That's
texted his
good.
dad later, and I was like, "Your son's an asshole."
Yeah. I'm good.
Your turn.
All right. From bauble myself.
Sure.
See what that is. Not fantastic. So I guess I think I need to, even if I want to surveil, I need to be able to hold up some potential interaction against you on turn 2, so I'm just going to shock in the steam vents.
Well, don't do that. I'm just doing this to save time
Yeah,
since we're
yeah. Shortcuts and whatnot.
the whatnot. So one thing about Alan and I is that we don't cut each other's decks. We do that because we know we're not going to cheat each other because we've been
Yeah.
friends for what, 17 years,
something like that. Yeah,
20 years.
yeah, it's probably closer to 20. Probably.
Sure. Yeah. Medallion.
Yep.
Pass.
Spire Bluff pass. You don't have very much that needs to be reduced by 2. Pretty much your whole deck is all 2s. Besides
Almost the entire
yeah,
deck.
besides
is
like
all 2s.
Wish and Past in Flames. We're not at a point of Past in Flames is mattering. So I think I'm good with Ral. He's good.
Pass.
Over to me. I will Bolt Ral. So like on my side of the matchup, I'm always thinking like we're already past phase 1, which is stop the reducer. So
Yep.
shoot the reducers in play. So now I need to be thinking. Go ahead. Like now I need to be trying to target my interaction toward what I think are the next most relevant spells.
Oh, and I don't even care what you're doing.
Yeah, you're just doing your thing and
Right. Oh, you can
Working
play the
around
story
it.
Corey Steelcutter. That's a fun card. Neat.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get that on eBay. All right, let's see if I can chain off this turn.
Yeah, like this matchup is very much I have to survive your onslaughts and then I'll just win with whatever I happen to draw at some point.
Right.
So it's very much I'm just holding up interaction. Ren's Resolve was good. So like I'm thinking at this point right now he's got basically infinite mana for himself. So stopping this first card doesn't really matter, right? So like this becomes an interesting card that I need to consider. Yeah.
Yeah, it resolves.
Yep.
Make 2 red.
Mm-hmm.
Draw.
Yep. Yeah.
Make 2 red.
Mm-hmm.
Draw.
Yep. Yep.
Fucking lands.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Let's see what Ral does.
Trigger.
Yep.
So once again, we'll do this. This is a coin flip, so evens are heads. They will represent flipping Ral at my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Odds will be Ral's trigger to deal 1 damage to me.
Yeah.
I choose to flip him.
Okay. So, yeah, how many is that?
6. That's exactly what I need.
So, with his flip on the stack, I'll deal 5.
This is a spell that was cast this turn.
Yep.
Ral dies.
Yep.
I have 6 spells still cast this turn.
Mm-hmm.
This always happens. Wish.
Yep.
Grape shot for 1.
Yep.
For
So 10?
10.
Yep. So I go down to 7.
So here's the thing I've never thought about before. I went and got this from Exile. I've now played it in the game. It goes to my graveyard.
Yep.
So now I have 61 cards.
Yep. So the thing to remember is then when we go to game 2,
I have to take this
put,
out.
put it back. I mean,
Which is my Achilles heel in
yeah.
this deck.
So with the way the rules are now, you can have it in your deck after sideboarding. You just probably don't want to because then your wishes isn't as good. So you just need to make sure, like, go get the wish.
Right.
Or go get the grape shot because I want to be able to wish for it. Because otherwise next game you'll be like, oh, I go to wish for it. And you're like, oh, shoot, it's not here.
And I can play this until my next turn.
Yep. Draw for turn. I'm going to start with Preordain.
Classic. I remember when they said this card was unbanned, and I literally like jumped up and kicked my heels together.
Yeah. We'll go bottom both of those. Draw that. I'll play an island and yeah, pass.
Thinning your deck. Hashtag got there. I have to say, I feel with the fact that I was on the play that you mulliganed to 5, and I've already cast a huge stack. I feel real confident.
Yeah. No counterspell. How much is it? 4 to flash?
It's
it
one
back?
more, yeah. So it'll cost me 4 to flash.
So I think this is a turn where maybe I need to. And I guess that doesn't really do what I want it to do.
Alan, the viewers at home don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah, so I've got. So I'm just gonna put this face up so we can talk about it. So I've got a flame and a sink. So I could flame destroy your ruby medallion. Makes it so you have to have another land before you can pass in flames, and really 2 before you can start doing anything. That hurts me a little bit. So either that, I can do that now, or I can hold up the Sink into Stupor. You're still at a point right now where you have to have another land before the Past in Flames can flashback and then start casting the spells. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up the Sink into Stupor. If you happen to, or if you're able to go land Past in Flames, I can put it back in your hand, buy myself a turn. If not, I get to draw 2 cards, which I think is where I am. Is I need to, even though it's tempting to destroy this, I think with the fact that I'm down to 2 cards, I can't just live off of top decking. I've got to get some more velocity back in my hand. So so I think in this situation, I pass.
So with my play, without knowing what cards in your hand was going to be this turn.
Yeah.
To double up.
Yeah. Right.
Now, I'm of the opinion that this reduces the cost of casting flashback from your graveyard.
Yeah, because it's still casting. It's just an alternate cost.
Right. So the reason I would do this, in my opinion, is I have the mana. I don't have a ton of velocity. I know that I have this. Then most of the time, my opponent won't know what's in my hand.
Yeah.
But now I basically am saying, like, go ahead. You can either, if you have an effect, because I know you're playing Flame of Anor, because there's right here.
Yeah.
You can destroy this. I have a backup copy. Now I have 2 down. That's even more pressure.
And now you don't need a land for this Past in Flames to represent recasting your whole yard, because now it'll cost 3, leaves you the 1 left, and you use rituals, and then you redo your whole yard, and you have the grape shot, and that's probably just enough.
Right.
So I'm going to draw 2 on your end step.
Yeah. It'd be a real dick move if you didn't play it the way that you said you were going
to. I think also it doesn't really behoove me to not do it. Okay.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to lead on the Thundering Falls. We're going to bend that Spiral Canal. Play a Tamiyo.
She is so good.
And I will pass.
Okay.
She's so good, but slow. Yeah, land.
Past in Flames.
That
is a good draw.
It was a very good draw. So buys me a turn is what it did.
Your turn.
Okay. All right. We are going to swing with Tamiyo, make a clue.
No blocks.
Got in there. I'm going to sacrifice the clue immediately. And I'll pass.
Yep. 16. gonna get one more that card out of my deck.
So they cost 3 from the yard right now, right? The
Yep.
Past in Flames.
Past in Flames.
Sink into Stupor, return it to your hand.
Past in Flames.
Yeah, because it's cheaper now. I
Yeah.
don't have another piece of
And then I
interaction,
chain off again.
Yeah, and then you just cast all the same spells you did that other turn, and there we go.
That is why Storm is great. All it requires to effectively is
Yes.
what I said.
Yes.
Oh my god. To work effectively is to have your opponent lose initiative and then sacrifice 2 cards back to their deck. Be totally reactive and
Yeah.
then allows you all the time in the world in order to do what you
Yeah,
want.
so in my sideboard, I'm going to bring in the Graveyard Hate to stop the Past in Flames effect that we just saw, and I'm going to bring in my 2 Force Negations. I can easily drop my 2 Unholy Heats because they kill nothing unless they have Delirium, and Drew only has 4 creatures that I really want to kill, so 4 bolts should be enough.
So I have almost nothing for this matchup in my deck as I've since you've
Yeah.
completely stopped playing Yawgmoth for whatever reason.
No, it's still sitting there. I'm just rotate back and forth through, and I've been exploring other stuff. So I'm keeping all of my counter magic. I think I need to keep the bolts because I have to be able to kill Ral. Snares are good. I need 2 more cards.
So I always cut Dragon's Rage Channeler from my deck as the first cut.
Yeah.
I think I would cut almost every copy of this before the next card I would cut out of the deck just to preserve velocity in what's left in the 60. It's an excellent card when if you can play it turn 1. It's almost next to worthless if you can't. However, playing Wish, which I'm new to playing, has indicated to me that there are opening up your sideboard, kind of a toolboxy effect, is something I haven't quite explored yet, but I think that I probably should.
So even though Flame of Anor can kill the... What's it called? The Ruby Medallion, I think it's very slow, so I'm going to trim on at least one of those, maybe just a second.
So I am bringing in 2 Orm's Chants to hopefully be able to cast in a turn at the beginning that I want to start to chain off. That forces my opponent to either waste a card that usually costs
More than
as
one, yeah.
as much or more in mana, or has to sacrifice another card, and I'm getting a 2-for-1 if he wants to do something like Force
Yeah.
Negation,
I
which
think,
all
sadly,
which
I'm gonna
benefits
cut
me.
Kitsa.
Well, this card sucks.
Well, it's awesome.
I mean, you're playing an otter for
You
Christ's
shut your
sake.
mouth. Otters are great.
They're fucking vicious, is what they are. Everyone thinks they're like these. Oh, they hold hands out on the open sea, and then they eat on their tummies. No,
Well, I mean, they
they're
do,
monsters. They are monsters. Okay, they're just cute monsters. They're the ones that they're like, oh, we shouldn't open the door to what's outside. What's outside is so terrible. But look how cute. And then you all die. We find you weeks later, ripped apart. There's a happy otter sitting there,
Worth it.
stomach just distended
Yeah,
from your remains.
worth it.
It's not. Why?
Worth it.
You're just stubbornly holding on to your point.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love otters. That's the point.
So
That's all
ridiculous.
that matters. They're adorable. All right. Well, first part of my strategy after sideboard is don't mulligan to 5.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless my hands are terrible.
I thought it terribly effective.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be fair, the 5-card hand was the best of the ones I saw.
Oh, that's
So,
sad.
so
Wow. Mostly because you got hammered by lands, right?
yeah.
How many are you running?
22?
Oh my god. Plus DFCs?
I think that includes the 1 DFC.
Sure.
I think. But, 4 Bauble, 4 Preordain, lots of draw effects, so.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find it. But I get to be on the play this time, and that's always better. It makes my counter spells good turn 2 plays against your key turn 2 plays, so.
That coffee's not even going to keep me awake until like 8:30.
Yeah, it's going to just.
It's good in the morning, bad
I think
in the
this
evening.
is fine.
All right.
You good?
Yep.
Misty Reinforced Pass.
What did I say about a turn 1 Diossi?
Oh, fetch, shock, bolt.
God damn it. Alright.
But at least you got to use the falsetto.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
It's tough to get up there. I got
Yeah.
a pretty low. Coming from here,
Yeah.
you know. If I play music on my phone while we're recording this now, do we get copyright infringement?
Oh, that and it probably just extra noise to have to sift through. So you will sit in silence and like it. Go ahead.
Your turn.
And step I'll consider.
At least the
It's the Lord
Lord of the Rings ones.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be Sauron.
There's a fell voice on the wind. A new power is rising.
I think that's fine.
He's such a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah. He betrayed everything he's supposed to stand for.
Yeah.
And then did jerk things.
Sure did.
Like raise orc armies and we'll bin that island. And I'll pass.
I can't pick it up. I'm so tired.
Well, it would be useful if your fingers worked.
They don't.
That was a well-crafted burn on my part.
Yeah.
Really got there.
They...
Yep. That happened.
Oh, shit.
There's a dog underneath the table.
Yeah. Oh, weird.
Yeah, I know, crazy. Dog underneath the table, that never happens.
Yeah.
Certainly not every time you sit at a table in this house.
Sure.
Yeah. He's checking. He's keeping it. All right. So the question I have to ask myself now is, does Drew just not have a play he wants to make, or is he just playing around me, clearly representing interaction in a deck that he knows
Well,
has
you've been
a
doing
ton
it
of
the
interaction,
entire
so
time.
Pass.
Yeah.
Well, I'm able to do the greatest thing to play this role is I keep on having a land to play, and so I can just hold up my good card forever. It's great.
I like these un-3 lands. Just the best I've ever seen as far as basics. Which is, I think, getting harder to say because they've really stepped up their game as far as basics are concerned.
Well, when we first started playing, I remember when the BFZ
Teacup Islands are great.
full arts came out, it was the first time in years they'd given us full art basics. And so everybody's like, oh my god, dang. I remember on my lunch break at work going up to our comic store to buy a fat pack to get it. He is chanting. So that's just I can't cast spells.
Target player can't cast spells this whole turn.
This whole turn. Well, it's certainly not worth a counterspell because I don't have a second one to back it up. So I just have to hope he can't win on the turn. Go ahead. And that he's just going to try to land something and then win with it next turn. One spell in. We're doing it. Yep. All right. No reducer at least means it's the hard way. He's got to pay full price for his cards. What a chump. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ha!
He does one to me.
Damage.
P.S. Ral hates my guts.
We've had a lot of times where Ral's dealt a lot of damage to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ping. So Ral's instant search count is one less than this, right? Because
Correct, because Ral
okay, yep.
is himself
Yep.
was himself cast this
Yep.
turn.
Yep.
What a piece of shit!
Keep coming, Ral. Keep them coming. You gotta have a couple more.
I really need this one. I mean, otherwise
Yeah.
I'm casting. Oh, yeah. Otherwise I'm.
So you're up to 7
Six,
spells. So
sure.
this will be the 6th Ral spell.
Come on! These are 50-50s.
Yeah, 50% you lose, 50% I win.
Yeah.
Right?
Eight. Trigger. You fucking bitch.
All right, we get to live, everybody.
I will now cast.
Oh, you
Pass
just
in
have enough to
Flames.
pass in flames,
So
and
then 4, and then again.
and then grape shot. Yeah. All right, that was the thing. So
I'm never gonna have a better example of what Storm does.
yeah, the Orm's chant really worked there. So I'm sitting on a counterspell and a sink, but I needed one more land, so
Fucking Ral does 4 or 5 damage to me.
Yeah.
What a traitor.
didn't matter. You won anyway.
Oh well.
You know,
It is a nice silver
he did
lining.
his main goal of be a reducer. So I think definitely like this is this is a good example to show one of the cases where I think Storm really shines is against decks that just cannot put a clock on it,
Yeah.
because I have to keep up the interaction on your turn too, because that's the key turn for all your stuff, and so I can't do something like deploy my own threat on turn 2. And so, like, I'm forced to just have to sit back and wait, and then you have a nice protection plan, which is really cool. So I think that it was also nice to showcase your Orm's Chant sideboard tech. I think that is... Overall, I have not been overly impressed with the way many people are trying to use Orm's Chant.
But you are impressed with the way
But-
that I used it.
But I think the way you're using it as a protection spell is the best method for it.
Well, yeah, because the
Because-
upside is that you win the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, people are trying to use it as a, oh, you Orms chant me on my turn, so I
Right.
can't cast spells on my turn.
No.
But that's a delay. You're like, I can win if he can't cast any more spells.
Right.
And so it's like, don't use it as a control element. You use it as a protection element, I think, is the way we see. So,
You know, you and I have talked so much about where Modern is now, like in a play design space, and it's, you know, like trying to prevent someone from trying to win is such a worse position to be in than just trying to win yourself.
yeah, like the only way it works is when you already have something that's killing them down,
Yeah,
and then you just
Delver-esque.
protect it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do the Delver thing. So, all right, folks. Well, let us know if this is a better experience of watching gameplay. I think it's better for us, certainly, in terms of it's not double the work of having to record it and then go back and do commentary. And I think it's nice because then I don't have to try to remember the good conversations we had about it, the strategy talk, and we just get to have them. So,
Well, maybe it's why SEG had this format dating back to like 10 years ago.
yeah, right? Hey, I watched a lot of Versus Live, so
We sure did.
you know, it worked out.